Everyone's been. Hope everyone's doing well and everybody had a nice Monday if there is such a thing. For this week's videos, like I said in my last video, I kind of wanted to do something a little bit different. Originally I was going to focus on directors that I really admire, like David Fincher or Frank Darabont. But I wanted to do something a little bit different. So the theme of this week is going to be San Francisco noir films. Growing up in the Bay Area, living here my whole life, and loving San Francisco. It's a beautiful city. I kind of wanted to do something like a series of videos based on films that were shot there by some really famous directors with some really great stars. And for this week's, I wanted to focus on a film that not a lot of people may know about or have talked about before, but the film is Twisted. So this is a film that I'm going to be talking about today, and each day this week I'm going to be posting a new noir, thriller, horror film that has been shot or based in San Francisco. So stay tuned for the review. So the film Twisted came out in 2004, January of 2004. It was directed by Philip Kaufman, who had previously helmed films like Henry and June, Quills, which is a very good film, as well as Rising Sun. The story itself is not the strongest. It was written by a writer named Sarah Thorpe. So it's not the strongest story, but the strong performances in the film by the main actors, they elevate the film, as well as the city locales, which are almost another character in the film, elevate it beyond the typical thriller. So Ashley Judd plays Jessica Shepard, Samuel Jackson plays John Mills, and Andy Garcia plays Mike Del Marco. So Jessica is a female police officer who has just been promoted to detective, and while she's investigating a murder, she discovers that she knows the victim, and this leads to more and more victims popping up over the course of the film that she also knows, and what this ends up happening is she becomes the prime suspect in the murders. It's like I said, it's a typical whodunit, blaming the main protagonist for the crimes. We've seen it before in other noir films, but I think one thing that stands out about this film is the way that Kaufman uses the city to his advantage in setting up the tension and the suspense. One thing, there's beautiful opening shots of the city. He pans around many famous locales, from the Golden Gate Bridge to downtown to Fisherman's Wharf. Just wonderful use of the city as its own character, as well as fog. He uses fog really well in it. Excellent use of atmosphere. There's lots of scenes where characters are surrounded by fog, and I'm sure he did this with, a fog machine, but just because San Francisco is known to be a very foggy city in the Bay, it works really well to the advantage of the storytelling technique that he builds upon. So yeah, like I said, it's not the strongest film. It's one that we've seen before. A lot of people, I don't think, are very big fans of it. It wasn't a particularly huge hit, but there's something about it that I always found charming, and I think it's that, Ashley Judd at this point had already done quite a few films in this genre. She had done Kiss the Girls with Morgan Freeman. She had done Double Jeopardy with Tommy Lee Jones. So she was known for doing these kinds of thriller mystery where she had been either accused of something, like she was in Double Jeopardy, or her life was in danger like it was in Kiss the Girls. And I think she does it really well. Andy Garcia is another fan favorite of mine. Loved him in the film Jennifer 8, which is another underrated genre piece he has done, very noir-like. But also in The Untouchables. Very good actor. Not his strongest performance here, but I still, just a really great actor, and he does a good job here with the role he has. And then Sam Jackson, I love in anything. One of my favorite actors ever. Not his strongest role. He plays a police commissioner, and he's someone that is taking care of the Ashley Judd character, Jessica. she is someone that her father was accused of being a serial killer when she was younger, and he raised her because her father was Sam Jackson's partner when they were coming up in the ranks together. So that's where the father dynamic between him and the Jessica character comes to be, and then Andy Garcia plays her new partner when she becomes a detective. So really good cast. They elevate the proceedings above what it could have been. And again, like I said, the story isn't the sharpest, but it's a film worth checking out. If not for nothing else, the beautiful use of San Francisco locales, because a lot of films that are shot in San Francisco don't take advantage, I feel, of just how wonderful the city looks. And this is one that really kind of, you can tell in the behind the scenes they talk about Vertigo and films like that that really inspired the noir, especially in the city, because it is a very small city, but it's a very well-known city. And it's one that isn't used as frequently as cities like Manhattan or New York and Chicago and things like that. It's a city that doesn't do a lot of. There's not a lot of film work done in the city, and I think it should be taken advantage of more because it is just a great place to go. So again, on a scale of 1 to 10, I give the film about a 7.5. Like I said, it's not great, it's not horrible, but good performances, wonderful atmosphere, very solid direction by Philip Kaufman. Definitely worth checking out. And I thank everybody for watching this. And tomorrow, be on the lookout for my next one. And it'll be a surprise. And I'll see you guys then. Thanks a lot.